Here in Germany, political parties say they have reached an agreement on plans to radically transform the country's restrictive borrowing rules. The Conservative leader and the likely next Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, has been seeking support for a massive boost to defence and infrastructure spending. Sources say his Conservatives are now hammering out the final details of an agreement with the Green Party. Together with the Social Democrats, the three parties would have enough votes for the two-thirds majority needed to pass these new rules. Let's get the very latest from DW political correspondent Matthew Moore, who joins us from outside the German parliament. So, Matthew, an agreement has apparently been reached. What does that agreement contain?
Well, first of all, before I tell you about the agreement, I'll just tell you where I am. We are waiting here in a crowd here for the lead negotiator of the Social Democrats, who's part of these talks, to come out and tell us what he makes of it, what the deal is exactly. But we know some of the details because Friedrich Merz, the man who's likely to be the next Chancellor of Germany, spent in the last hour has told us some of the details, and the Greens have also told us some of the details. Now, what we can say is that Germany's major parties have agreed to spend 500 billion euros additional cash and to borrow that money and to spend it on infrastructure over the next 12 years. Really, really important other aspect of this, Anya, is that they've agreed to take defence spending over 1% of GDP out of the household budget and instead borrow that money. And now that's important because that affects things like massive spending on the German army, which is clear that the new government is prepared to do. It also affects things like support to Ukraine and also civil defence. One of the things that Friedrich Merz, the man who's likely to be the next Chancellor of Germany, said in the last hour was that additional funding for Ukraine, around 3 billion euros, will be released as soon as this deal, should it pass the Parliament next week, as soon as it passes. So that's quite major news.
OK, so it's big money we're talking about here, and you said that this deal should pass. When will there be an actual vote on this?
So the actual vote will come on Tuesday. And it's worth just saying that this is all happening at a lightning speed because Friedrich Merz says that the world cannot wait much longer, especially Germany and Europe, and that's because Donald Trump has clearly said that he expects Europe to spend much more on defence, and so Friedrich Merz's message has been we need to do this and we need to do it fast. However, for the last week, keen-eyed viewers will know that we've been talking about this for a while, but the big sticking point has really been the Green Party. They've been saying we expect funding, that money, that additional spending, not to be then just taken out of debt and borrowed and then spent on tax giveaways. We expect that will be spent on infrastructure. We expect that it will be spent on defence. And it looks like they've now got that deal. And as I say, it will now go to a vote on Tuesday in the German Parliament, and it requires a two-thirds majority because it is about reforming the Constitution. Very significant. To reform the Constitution, you need a two-thirds majority, Anya.
That's right. And the question is, Matthew, is it even legal for Friedrich Merz to try and change the Constitution in this way, so soon after the election and before the new Parliament has convened?
It's unprecedented, quite frankly, because remember, he's not even the Chancellor yet, but he's rallied the support of the main centrist parties to do this. And the reason they're doing it now and not in a couple of weeks' time when the new Parliament is sworn in is because there's no guarantee that they would have two-thirds majority in the new Parliament. And that's really important because the AfD and people on the left have said, hold on a minute, this is constitutionally questionable, and they've said they've gone to the Constitutional Court and have asked the judges to look at this, and we expect a decision on that any time in the coming days, potentially even as late as Monday. So we wait for the judges to make their call, and if they give it the go-ahead, there will be a vote on Tuesday, which would be a very, very big day.
DW political correspondent Matthew Moore. Matthew, thanks for bringing us up to date.